24 years ago, this day, May 6, 2000, I got married. Today marks the anniversary of Michelle and I, our 24th anniversary. And I was thinking about marriage today, and this might be kind of a unique marriage devotional. There are times in which I don't feel very loving. I don't feel very loving towards my wife, feel very loving towards my family, feel very loving towards people even in the church. And there are times when I feel, and I'm saying this in my flesh, where it's like, no, I should be served. People should be doing stuff for me. And that's when I need to realize, and I go back to the scriptures, especially in marriage, where the Apostle Paul said this in Ephesians chapter 5, "For no one ever hated his own flesh." Of course, I love myself. It's the way God created us. And actually, in my flesh, sometimes I love myself way too much. "For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes it, cherishes it, just as Christ does the church, because we are members of his body." And you might be thinking, where did he get that from? From right before that. "In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own selves," or own bodies, rather. "He who loves his wife loves himself. So as I take care of myself, in the same way, in the same fashion, in the same measure, I am to take care and love my wife." Actually, the Apostle Peter said this as well. "Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered." As there is this unique relationship that I have with God, I realize that God is saying that if I don't love my wife the way that I love myself, and the way that I say that I love God, then my prayers are going to be hindered. There's a direct correlation between the way I live for, I love, and I treat my wife, and the way that God is going to treat me. And so, on my anniversary today, and for this devotional, I'd like to just encourage, especially married couples out there. You're not always going to feel this love, this care, and so forth for your spouse. And that's when we need to back up and say, look how much Christ loved me. God demonstrated his own love to us while yet we were still enemies, in enmity towards God. Christ died for us. May we die to ourselves, and may we live for and love our spouse as Christ lives for and loves us. Well, thank you for joining me.